My mom and I were like out school supply shopping. I was like, I think there's a boy in the trumpet section in band that likes me. And she's like, oh, do you like him? And I was just like, no, because I think I'm gay. And then I started crying because like saying it out loud for the first time is just really emotional, and it's hard to know you're ready to do, but I was definitely ready. My parents reacted very well. My mom thought I was kidding. She was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, why would I joke about that? She hugged me. I knew they would be okay with it because my mom has actually always told me, no matter who you love, like boys or girls, like anything that happens in your life, I'll support you, like no matter what. And so that was amazing to have that kind of support before I even knew I needed it. And my dad, I came out and he just said, yeah, I kind of figured. I didn't expect that at all because I wouldn't have thought he would be the one that like realized first. And I was like, why did you kind of figure? And he's like, well, you never really talked to me about boys. And I'm like, because all 16-year-old girls talk to their dads about boys, like all the time, obviously. But it was great to kind of have those two different experiences and have them surprise me. It was really cool.
All the girls in my grade in school would have like these like perfect like peanut butter jelly sandwiches on like white bread, and you know, but I came in and I had like curry. I don't think I'm necessarily Indian, and I don't think I'm necessarily American either. That's what I've been trying to figure out right now in like this stage of my life. I definitely think my parents wanted more for me to embrace my heritage and own it. My mom knew I was embarrassed as a kid, and I feel really bad about that. Like that still kind of like breaks my heart today. I was in elementary school, and like we had this art show and all the parents came in. My mom had an accent, you know, because we're like, oh, is that your mom? And I was like, no, that's my babysitter. And they're like, oh, your babysitter looks a lot like you. I was like, yeah, yeah, she does. So I was definitely really ashamed, and I tried to like reject like every part of my culture as I could because I thought it was embarrassing. But like over the years, I've accepted it, and now I'm like really proud.
I'm from Syria, Aleppo, and I'm a refugee in Germany. I'm staying with my mom in Hamburg now. In the first, I was afraid of everything, you know, like bombs and those things, and seeing the army or the soldiers. That was scary at first, but after like 2 years, when I see like soldier or something like that, say like, hi, you get used to it. It's been like 6 years. We saw a lot. I saw dead people, I saw bombs, I saw building falling in a second. I saw almost everything. Like, I can die now and say I saw everything. I met two types of people here, actually. There's people who would love to help you, and there's people who just want to kill you, I think. Every refugee met the two types. I miss everything there. I miss my school, I miss my friend, I miss the cafe that I was always staying in. Maybe I remember the smell of the jasmine in the street. I miss this. And I hope like I can meet some friends. I'm afraid of that. I don't know how they're gonna react because I'm Muslim or I'm a refugee, and I'm going to a normal school because I'm underage, so I'm afraid of that. Yeah, I got this tattoo. It says, stay strong. And every time I look at the tattoo, I remember everything that happened with me, like the journey when people beat me up in Syria, when my mom and dad divorced. And I remember that I went through a lot, and I can't make it like one more day. This is easy. Yeah.
My mom had a really bad drug problem. She had it for most of her life. My mom's drug use was very hard on me because I've always wanted a mom to do my hair. Like, I would go to my friends' houses and they would be close with their mom, and I never really got that. I wanted to be the best that I could be for my mom. I want to go to college because my mom couldn't. I want to be everything that my mom couldn't be. Best day of my life was I found out that my mom was clean, not doing drugs anymore, because I knew she was going to be okay. I love my mommy. I can't tell you much about my dad because I don't even know his name. I never got to meet him. I think he died before I was born. He died by going into a drug dealing because he was a drug dealer and he got shot. So I've lived with my grandpa since I was 9 months old, but he adopted me when, I'm going to say 12. Life with my grandpa is very interesting. He's very redneck. I'm a very big tomboy. I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't even know how to do makeup. But I tell him everything. He knows everything that there is to know. I love my grandpa. He's my BFF.
I love to wear my veil because my religion, like Islam, asks us to do this and I think I'm prettier with my veil. I love it. It's part of me. I don't believe in discrimination between people. I don't care if you're Muslim, Jewish, Christian. I don't care about your nationality. I just care about you as a human being. I intend to have maybe 12 years after, in college, because I want to become surgeon. I want to go to school in Germany, but I want to travel to America. I want to live in America. I know that in America, people are not very friendly to Muslims, but I think I'll be unique. I'll make them love Muslims.
When people just label me as the smart Asian, they're really neglecting everything else about my personality. I hate that stereotype. It was a major culture shock for me moving from Japan and then going to America. It's like the whole parallel between Eastern culture and then Western culture. But the best thing that has ever happened to me is my parents' decision to move us to the United States, because I can't imagine having those opportunities if I was still living in Japan. For this year's research project, I created a Lyme disease detector. In the United States alone, there are 300,000 people who are being misdiagnosed with Lyme disease. I spent a lot of time working on this project and hoping that it would work. And when it did, I was so happy. I had never felt that type of joy and that type of accomplishment in my life before.
I want to be a part of them, a part of the people who change the world perspective about our culture, our generation. I still haven't have a picture of what I'm going to do, but all I know that I do not want to have a life that is just the same every day. It's really hard to put it in this perspective of what actually makes me different, but I just feel it. I feel that I'm destined to do more. I want to be important. I want my existence to count. I want people to know me, and I want after my life, when I'm dead or something, I will leave some kind of impact in the world to make people know that I was here once.
I've grown up here my whole life with my mom and my dad and my brother. I feel like growing up in a small town, you know almost everybody that you see. You can go anywhere and see somebody that you're familiar with. I think it's taught me good Southern manners. It's a good Southern town. I think living in Ashland, it's such an artsy place. It's taught me how to stay true to my home roots. Even if I want to go somewhere like New York one day, I'll always have the fact that I grew up in the little town of Ashland with, a small school of maybe 1,000 people, and that I knew almost everybody. Also the fact that you know everybody. It's like news travels so fast around here. If something big happens to somebody, everybody knows. Even people from not your school will figure it out. But I think that even though we're in the small town and everybody knows what you're up to, it makes us closer together in the end.
One of the main things that homeschooling allows me to do is have a lot more time to do all of these things, like my blog, which has gained me more experiences. I've designed a collection of socks with a brand that people can buy. I'd never ever be able to do that if I was at school, because I would have never put myself out there. If I'm not at home or in Italy, I'm going to museums, and it's basically I get to go on school trips. In school you might learn about, for example, what I'm learning about now is Renaissance art, but you might not ever actually go and experience it, whereas when I'm, for example, in Italy, I can go to all these great places and cathedrals and look at the architecture and get to see Botticelli and things like that. So it's just being able to actually immerse myself in it rather than just learn it out of a textbook.
Growing up in Mathare is not that easy. So many people are not educated and it's so congested, as you can see. People in Mathare think that the poor are low life. But being in Mathare, if they are self-believing in education and life, this place will not be a slum. The reason as to my parents educating me is for me to take them out of this place to another place, because they brought me up in this place so that I can see the challenges in the slums. My parents expect so much about me. What they expect from me is a true dreamer and someone who can achieve something. Because they are working hard, they put me into school. They didn't leave me to roam around in the slums. They are working hard so that they can see their daughter getting them out of this slum and taking them to a more better life. That is very important to me.
Having a single mother has shaped my mind. She's shown me that you don't need a man specifically to be happy or to raise a family. You can do it on your own. I don't need another person to complete me. I look at my friends and I see that their parents are not like mine. You know, they may have two, but none of them are like mine. My mom is she's very supportive. And I don't see that with a lot of two parents or single parents. Some of my friends' parents are very out of the picture, not really hands-on like my mom is. My mom's my best friend. No, yeah, she's oh my God, they're making me cry. I haven't missed out on life because I haven't had a second parent. So honestly, my mom is my biggest hero, my biggest supporter.
I have friends that have been kidnapped, others that have been robbed. Growing up here is difficult, but not impossible. When I was little, I really don't know because I didn't even think about the situation. I was just a little kid, like everyone I know. The insecurity is the biggest problem here, and that's why there are a lot of kidnappers, a lot of robs. And I think that's the hardest and the most dangerous part of being here. I know it's difficult to live, but I think there are countries that are worse than me, and I can't talk no, this is the worst country ever, because there is not. You know, there's no war here, and there are countries that are in war. So really, I thank Jesus that I could have a house, that here I have a car, I have food, and even though it's not the best, it's not the worst.
I feel like I do well in school, but at the moment I'm kind of struggling to keep that motivation because the big thing at the moment is I feel like doing well in school is kind of at the expense of everything else, and school kind of takes over. I think that it's hard to have a great social life when you put yourself under so much pressure to do well in school. It takes over from enjoying other aspects of life. It takes time, it's tiring, and it causes a lot of stress, and so I'm not really sure if it's all worth it. I have to remind myself, I guess, about the big picture.
When I was younger, I got bullied a lot. In 5th grade, it's I don't know, the girls, they just stopped liking me. They stopped talking to me. It hurt. I didn't feel comfortable. I always sat in the back, so I didn't have to stand in front and feel like somebody was talking about me behind my back. And I tried out for the cheerleading team, and I'm they're not gonna put me on a team. No one likes me. Then I made a couple friends after that, and I'm oh, okay, I should have did this a long time ago. With dancing, it's still feeling like nobody's there. It's just me. I just block out everything else. I feel more free, more I can do whatever. I'm from Flint, Michigan, and I started being more aware of our water when freshman year we have a English teacher named Ms. Cox, and she's you guys ever start wondering why your water's all cloudy now? She's you guys need filters. Get filters for your water. She to make it clear. So we look up and there's lead in the water. You can't drink the water. It's a year later and people are still going to get tested for lead water.
I want to change my society, my Arabian society. I feel that there's no equal between the boys and the girls in Jordan. Most of the families make their sons go out of Jordan to study, an example, but they didn't make their girls or daughters go out of Jordan to study. I want to be a lawyer because I care about the human rights and the women's rights. I am Palestinian, so I feel that I have to be a lawyer to help all the people in war. Amal Alamuddin, she's George Clooney's wife. She's a lawyer, she's a Lebanese, and she always go to the Syrian people and sit with them and maybe give them donations. So I feel that I could make the same with the Palestinian people.
I feel like everything I do today determines how my future will be. So I really try to do things that will put me in a better position for the future and give myself better opportunities, because I want to be successful and live a successful life, and that's really important to me. I went to public school until I was 14, and then I switched to a private school, and it was a pretty big difference. I didn't know anybody going into the school, so I had to make all my friends once I got there, and that was really hard for me because I am really shy. My old friends, they kind of tease me about it, in a joking way, about oh, I go to a private school, I'm so smart, I think I'm so good for too good for everybody else. It's mostly just jokes, but maybe there's a little truth behind it.